Well, hello, welcome back, everyone. Good afternoon. Hello, Richard, Shalor, Molly, Khalid, Triple C. Vivian's back as well. How's it going? All right, so we had the 1 o'clock low, excuse me, swept already. We'll reevaluate at 1:30 and see if this level is still holding, but we'll keep sliding it until then. And meantime, also just monitoring where price is in relation to the dollar, how the dollar is reacting to the new hour. Exactly 88%. Nice retracement. We end up getting a break of the New York low. Of course, that makes a new low, but then the protected high shifts from where it currently is, only down a little bit below the fair value gap. It'll be at the pre-lunch high, which will still leave a area of about 200 points before we even look to see if there's a breaker or anything forming. So it's been, or as far as looking for breakers and unicorns, it's been tough go today. Just haven't been very many setups, and it's because of how far apart the protected highs and lows are. So there hasn't been any market structure shifts or anything, at least on the 5-minute here. On lower time frame, I haven't checked there, but I would rather it form on the 5-minute. Mm, 479. Hey, we got a strong candle here starting out our first quarter of the hour here. We hit two little small retracement candles and then an expansion, building on what started during lunch. Well, actually building on what started before lunch. We already were starting to push down. I thought maybe lunch would give us a retracement back into this range, maybe up to the midnight open, but it didn't. Opening candle for lunch started to push up, sweeping a couple of these highs, quickly rejected, and showed that price was still weak. All right, so this morning when we looked at the hourly and we looked at all the indices, we saw that the only one to break yesterday's low was Nasdaq, S&P, and Dow did not, and they were pushing higher at a rate that was bit faster than what Nasdaq was doing. Now we could actually see all three of them break their lows. Not necessarily Nasdaq, since it's already done it this morning, unless it wants to continue pushing. But the other two, so the Dow and S&P, may actually break those lows now. We'll wait and see how this hour fares. But we do have the New York low within sight down at 552. So it's about 35 points lower than where we are now. And right now the dollar just swept the high of 9 o'clock to put in a new high for the day. Obviously the 9 o'clock low would be the New York low as well. So if Nasdaq follows suit with what the dollar is doing in that inverse relationship, the dollar sweeping the 9 o'clock highs, we might see Nasdaq and the other indices sweeping 9 o'clock lows. And points away from the New York low now. Vivian, I know. Let's see if we can't get a setup. What we want to see, and this is what I was hoping for this morning. I was hoping that when we were in this range, we would come and sweep the low. This would become a protected high. So all of this movement would have been a bullish breaker that we then could have took up. But we didn't get that. So now if we can break this low at 752, get a retracement, maybe back up to this lunch, what a lunch low needs to slide. But anyway, if we can break this New York low, retrace up, break the new low once again, that'll make the protected high in this area. Then we can take over that, look for a breaker and head high. Otherwise, when we get a break here, this becomes the breaker. This is I don't know if anybody wants to trade a 140 point breaker. So even if you minimize and say, okay, it's only the last candle, right? You're still looking at a 90 point breaker. So it's not feasible for trading. All right, J Stores, good luck. This is similar to what we had up here, where price was trading like it was going to take over the protected high. There was a fair value gap right there. We thought at least it would touch that, and it came about 5 handles away from touching the fair value gap. Reverse, turn all the way back around. So now if we get close to the New York low and we see price push up, then we're in the same situation, and then we're just consolidating all day. The TP, all right, Molly. Okay. All right. Hey, let's see if it's going to get that New York low before 130. There it is. All right. This was also a protected low, so it's back. High now gets shifted down. Right. So S&P also swept lows, not only the low from 9 o'clock this morning, but also the low from yesterday. So now it's fully aligned with what NQ is doing. And the Dow swept the low from 9 o'clock this morning. It has not swept yesterday's low, but it did take out the morning low, creating a new low for the day. And the dollar is pushing still and making a high of the day. All right, so we do have all of our everything pretty much aligned. So all our indices are aligned together, as well as having the inverse relationship with the dollar. So that looks good. We've now swept a protected low. Let's see if we can get a decent retracement and then another sweep of this low, the lunch low, which we generally get anyway. So this is setting up nicely. And then when we get a break of whatever this short-term high we have, then maybe we can have a bullish breaker, but maybe not. Maybe it'll continue lower. So we don't want to be married to the idea. But while looking at price action, that looks like it could be a possibility. Hello, Miss Healthy. How's it going? Marlene, I'm not doing anything at the moment. I'm just watching price and waiting for certain things to happen. But at the moment, I'm not doing anything. Healthy pullback there. All right, now that it's 1:30, let's just as a group take a look at what the others are doing, just so we all have the same understanding. All right, so this was the dollar. The dollar was pushing like just a few minutes ago, it was at its high of the hour and of the day. But now it looks like it's rejecting possibly off of this fair value gap here on the hourly. So we'll see by the end of the hour where the dollar wants to close. Now, if we move over to the indices side, as I mentioned, we had the 9 o'clock low, or in this case for the Dow was the 5 o'clock low, which was the daily low. And now we finally have pushed below it. This morning, we had SMT going on where the low hadn't been traded to, well, yesterday's low hadn't been traded to on the Dow. Now we have this morning's low traded to, and then possibly maybe by the end of today, we'll have yesterday's low traded to. If we look over at S&P, we also had the same thing about this morning's low not traded to. We see that just happened just recently, and it also swept yesterday's low. So now we have a lower low created today. And on Nasdaq, we already had a lower low. So this morning's 9 o'clock already took yesterday's low. So we were already there. And look, we can see it looks like a little trend line setting. We can even extend this. Right. So, all right. So now we have S&P and Nasdaq fully in line with one another. It's just the Dow that's not there. So that could signal, bullish for the rest of the afternoon, potentially, if we see a big push out of this fair value gap, and then we see follow suit from the remainder of the indices, if they're able to push through these fair value gaps that they have just above them. Oddly enough, those fair value gaps haven't been confirmed yet, but they were created during lunch, and it's on all three indices. So we'll see what that means for the afternoon. But what we really need to pay attention to is, where does the dollar close this hour? Does it close below or above that fair value gap? All right, let's switch back over. Oh, no problem, Marlene. If you have any questions about price action or what's actually happening here, feel free to ask. Facts and lies. What are you looking for this afternoon? Or based on what you see from price right now, what do you see? Gorkam, the only way to have it set up before you enter your trade is you have to enter with a short or long tool. So I have this on my little favorites here, but you need to take a position like a long tool here, where it comes up with this item, right? And from here you can decide how you want it structured, your stop and your profit level, whether you want a certain price, you want a certain amount of ticks. Remember, it's 4 ticks per point. So you can decide from there. If you don't use that, you can always come over to the side, hit the plus, and create a new order. Oops, sorry. It won't let me do it. I'm not logged in at the moment. But anyway, create a new order, and from there, decide what you want to do. If you just do a market execution where you just click sell, I want to sell right now, then in order to set a stop, you need to go to wherever you want your stop to be, and you need to create the opposite. So you need to go in and create a buy. So if it gets up to that point, it'll create a buy, which will take you out of your order, which will be your stop loss. And the same for your TP. If you want your TP down here and you're in a sell, you want to go down and you want to click a buy in this order. So when it gets down here, it'll trigger the buy, which cancels out your sell order. No, 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 that's wrong. That's wrong. If you're in a sale, you need to have a buy as your stop loss and a buy as your TP, because the only way to exit a sale is through a buy order. So it's either going to take you out when you want to exit on a stop loss, or it's going to take you out when you reach your TP. But either way, if you're in a sale, you need to do the opposite in order to close your trade. If you're in a sale and you put in another sale, now you're going to be in for two contracts. Yes, that's correct, Gorkum. Yes. So one is going to be a buy stop, and then your TP is going to be a buy limit. Yeah, Gorkum, what you need to do is you need to go in as a just on demo on a paper trade, and you need to practice this. Do not start doing this with the live account if you're not comfortable and familiar with how it works. So make sure you're in the demo. Practice it on several trades to where you know exactly how to set it up, how to quickly do it, so you can see the different options, whether you want to do a right click and then find it, whether you want to click the plus on the side. How do you want to do it so you make sure that when it's time for a real trade, you're as efficient as possible? Yeah, you can always do that as a, just then you won't have a TP. You have to actually watch it. I think he was looking for being able to have the system automatically exit trades for him. All right, let's look and see if the lunch low is going to be taken next. Lunch low at 17,537. Excuse me. Thank you. Make it a little larger, see if that protected low is taken, which is also the lunch low. I have them spaced out so because you wouldn't be able to read it if they sat on top of each other, but they're the same level. Let's see if it's taken. It looks like it's about a tick or two away. Needs to get down to 57 flat, and we made it as far as 537.5. So 2 more ticks, plus a third tick to actually break through it. All right, looks like it's not ready to break that level just yet. Hello, Queen. Welcome back. You almost you came right in time. I thought the lunch low was going to be swept, and we got about 2 ticks away from the lunch low, and it didn't take it. Well, looks like price doesn't want to break market structure, so it's now shifting back the other direction. Very similar to what happened this morning over on this side. We were hoping that it would break this low when we were trading in this area, and instead it ran all the way up. And then when it got up here, it wouldn't even take the high. Maybe this lunch low will fall during the macro. We have macro coming in about 5 minutes. Not only is this the protected low, but it's also equal lows. We have 1, 2, 3 candles right here. Oops. Oh no. Yep, daily fair value gap, consequent encroachment is at 530. It's only a couple points lower than where we have these equal lows. I think I put in the weekly when I didn't add the daily to the chart. The weekly should be down here. Yep, at 479. . 735. Yeah, let's take a look. This candle here. Richard, is this the one you're talking about? This purple candle right here? Richard, so no, it's not really anything. I'm not sure what you mean when you say it's not aligned with its neighbors. We had a move up, then a move down, then a move back up, move down, up, down, down, down. So yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by it's not aligned with its neighbors. Now, this upper edge is not 100% aligned. I think it's 1 or 2 ticks off. So on a very low time frame, maybe the 15-second or something, there's a gap here. We call it a volume imbalance. And let's see, where's this at? 735. Let's go down to the 15-second. Yeah, you got a few things in here, but like where this candle body doesn't align with this body, there's a small little gap. Yeah, these we call volume imbalances, where the candle bodies don't fully align. So that's what that is. On a much higher time frame, that's exactly what happens when I talk about a new week opening gap or a new day opening gap. That's essentially what it is. Just a gap between the candle body of the previous candle and the current candle. All right, I can see price hasn't gone anywhere during that time I was explaining that for Richard. Hmm. Yeah, it's probably easier to see on a larger time frame. Let me, I'll find a better one to show you. Okay, I found one. So here on the daily, you'll see it's a lot easier to see. Like right here, Richard, from the close of this day on Friday the 12th, and then the opening Sunday evening, you see there's a gap between the candle bodies right there. And on a weekly basis, we call that a new week opening gap. But it does happen on the 5 minute, on the 15 minute. We don't give it a special name for that. We just call it a volume imbalance if we find it. But that's it. These are significant because price trades back to them regularly. The new week opening gap as well as the one in between the days. So let's see. I don't see one in between the days yet, but they do occur. Oh, I forgot we were in a macro, so let's keep it on the 1 minute. See this inverted gap here working, right? This violated immediately here, however, turned into, oops, sorry, was a bullish one, violated, turned into a bearish one, traded down, came back, returned, traded down once again. Hey, not quite yet. Just not ready yet. Yeah, I wonder if it's waiting for the next hour to get into the next candle to break this. Yep. And that's fine. I mean, I'm looking for bullish prices as well. The thing is that if you're looking for it to be bullish, you don't want price to switch. You don't want the market structure shift to happen at 17,750 if we were now trading at 17,550. Nobody wants to wait 200 points for the market structure shift. So what we need is another push below. So then the protected high switch shifts down. The protected high would then be at 592. So now you're breaking market structure here for the ride up. Otherwise, we're still bearish and we can keep buying up, but overall we're bearish. The same as what we had this morning. This was all we were market structure. We were bearish, but look at how much bullish momentum happened. And it's because the protected high and protected low were 200 points apart. So hopefully we get a shift below and then a shift back higher, breaking structure. All right, it's 2 o'clock now. We gotta, looks like this fair value gap is now confirmed from the lunch hour. Bearish one just above us. Mass Petrochem, I do not trade stocks. I only trade indices futures. Fiber, this is based on market structure. Are you familiar with market structure and market structure shifts, or I think some people call it a change of character. Yep. All right. So fiber, when when you're looking at market structure, whenever you have a level that you say, if this level gets broken, we're now flipping from bearish to bullish. That's the protected level. So if that protected level gets taken, then you flip to the other side. Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Strong high or low, protected high or low, same thing. Mm. Oh, it just will not break that low. I wonder if people are entering longs and putting their stop right below the lunch low, believing that it's going to hold. Mm. Ah. Oh, is it still pushing the dollar? All right, well, while we're waiting for NQ to do what it's going to do, let's take another look at the dollar. The last time we checked, it was about 20 minutes ago, right? And so we looked and we saw that it had pushed through the fair value gap here, but it had retraced and was back into the range, still higher than its morning high, but it was trading back into the range. Now, this hour is looking to confirm a bullish fair value gap. So if it does, then that's definitely more momentum to push higher. But right now, we really want to see if it can get above this fair value gap and close. Last hour, it pushed up, came back down. Now we want to see if it can push up and close. But it's looking bullish. There's no doubt about it. And over on the indice front, and we have the Dow still pushing a little bit. It's the only one still representing the S&T. Hasn't taken out yesterday's low. Let's see. Yep. All right. So yeah, so we're still waiting on NQ to sweep the low from the lunch at lunch hour. We got that from S&P already, so we didn't have that issue, but Nasdaq is just dragging his feet right now. So we'll keep watching the dollar, see if it wants to push higher. If it does, then we'll clearly look for lower prices on indices. But if it stalls like it's doing now and trades back into the range, it still has the bullish fair value gap, but it's not really pushing from it, then we may see some higher prices this afternoon. Okay. We're getting close to the end of the macro here. I was hoping that that lunch low would drop during the macro. All right, final minute. Finally, there we go. No, it's just order blocks, just not my thing. But it's very similar to a fair value gap where you'd be looking. There's order blocks all up and down, price action legs. So yeah, it'd be something else to talk about. But it's also not something that I put a lot of energy into. So I would have to get better at it before I start speaking on it the way I talk about fair value gaps. So it's not a huge part of my price model that I like to enter with. So that's one of the reasons why I don't talk about order blocks a lot. All right, so lunch low has been taken. We did not get a close below. We just got a wick on the 5 minute. So my market structure levels are coming from the 5 minute. So we want to see price trade below where this protected low is and close on the 5 minute. And I'm going back looking for these 1 hour fair value gaps, and I'm all the way back on January the 18th. Man, I found a few on February 1st, but those are really close to where we are right now. So not sure how long they're going to last, but looking for more levels just below that. We're back to January 18th. So if we have a few more days of sell-offs, we're going to be right back where we started the year at. All right, here we go. All right, Khaled, hang in there. Keep your discipline. Anyone looking at the 1325 candle as potentially setting up a breaker? All right, Molly. Good luck in your trade. Hey, Wei Young, good luck to you as well. Holding from 542, our AJ stores. Good luck. Yeah, I know the feeling, Molly. Wow. Jesus Christ. Good job, Molly. All right, J Stores, way to get back in there. Let me find these fair value gaps from way back when. It should at least hold us for a week if we continue to see bullish prices. Back. Just work on this camera thing. Right, let me know if you can hear me. All right, good, good. We're back minus the camera, so we'll figure out. We'll see how long it takes for the camera to boot up. The computer's still I had to reboot my computer. It's still coming back up and running the programs and things. So maybe the camera will come up in a few minutes. But until then, we can continue. Let me see if I missed out on anything from the chat. All right. Glad everybody was able to stick with it. So we got about 30 people here now. I guess it's better than nothing. All right, Queen. I think you're calling out unicorns going forward. I think that's what I saw. Oh shoot! I didn't even realize this was even on. Richard, I have a PC. I have a PC. I don't know. Every now and then, TradingView will freeze up on me whenever I do too many, when I give it too many commands. Like if I quick too quickly on switching back screens or sliding from left to right, sometime it'll freeze up. But usually I give it 20 or 30 seconds and it'll come back to where it was before. And now I don't know what happened. It froze the whole computer. Even when I tried to do like Control Alt Delete and maybe close a program that was frozen, it didn't do anything. So I had to reboot the whole computer. Hopefully majority of you were able to come back in. Yeah, that was definitely demo. I was just clicking buttons during lunch and just left it there. I wasn't even paying attention to it. Marlene, we start at 9:15 in the morning. Oh, okay. I completely missed it. We finally did get a close below. All right, so then that's going to shift down our protected high. Mm. I do not know, Marlene. I do not have anything outside of YouTube. I don't have any mentorships or anything. Now we can get a market structure shift. So this is what I've been waiting for all day. Say a 1 minute unicorn ray. So I was looking earlier at this possibly being the breaker. And we never got a close above. So I was just like, okay, well, doesn't matter. I thought maybe this run up here would do it, or maybe even this one here. Oops. Oh. Ah, man. I just did all that work bringing those hour fair value gaps from early February. All right, let me see if I can quickly grab that again without freezing the computer this time. Okay, at least it saved it this far. There we go. Okay, let's go down to the 1. Get ready for the macro time. And Ray, you said you saw a bearish breaker or unicorn here on the 1 minute. Okay, let's see. Let's see where the dollar is now. All right, the dollar is once again rejecting that fair value gap, the bearish one above. Okay, we'll see in another 8 minutes whether this fair value gap just above where we are right now is still valid. But we do have one below down at 490 to 500 level. Mm. Oh, but ES did? Okay. Mm. So I don't see it. Here. Mm-mm. Oh, I don't, for whatever reason, my camera has stopped working on my reboot. I'm not sure why it didn't work. Let's see. know what? I could just. $220 would be the bottom of the swing low, start of the breaker. Is after taking liquidity from release. Yep. Oh, I see. Okay, so you took this as your breaker. Okay. Hmm. And then your unicorn comes from here. Okay. New hour. Let me look and see how the last hour fared, how the candles closed. You know what? We got it end of the hour and we were below, so this is invalidated. Is this what you were looking for, Ray? Okay, I see. Looks pretty good. The body's, well, at least on the previous candle, it did close below consequent encroachment, and the next candle wick started on consequent encroachment. Or I'm sorry, not the wick. It traded up to and then down. And we're inside of the macro. CO, the macro time is a set of instructions for that the algorithm is set for to run for a pool of liquidity or to finish some. A lot of times, what will happen is we'll see it trade into a breaker to start the trade setup, or other times we see it create the breaker um, to then engage into a trade setup a little bit later. So it's just during that time we look for it to do wherever something local, something close to where it is, whether it's take a pool of liquidity or trade into a breaker. So for instance, if we were looking for this low and we were looking for it to trade down, then we would expect during the macro for it to trade down and take out this low. Um, but it looks like during this macro, we have a breaker setting up and we were looking for a price to trade into it during the macro time. For me, I prefer breakers to be activated during the macro. And so far, all the bodies are still below. Even the wick just went to the very north edge. Let's see, the high of this candle is 578 and 3/4. The high of this candle is 578 and a half. So it went just one tick above. Five 46. Okay. Another 30 seconds on this candle. We're going to shift back to the 5-minute here. Delete that too quickly. Okay, I guess I did. Yeah, it was never invalidated. Even though this one pushed pretty hard through, it never closed above. And if we look here, maybe it was just taking that manipulation portion. Trading to consequent encroachment right in this area. All right. So we got about 50 minutes left on this side of the hour plus 10. So we got about 60 minutes left in our trading session today. Now let's see if we can get a proper unicorn set up this afternoon. more rejections. So got close to these highs, and then now we're back in the middle of the zone again. Let me look and just measure this and see where we are. Hmm. Wonder if we'll go the entire session without breaking structure. Well, not the entire session, the entire day. Triple C. Yeah, I know Ray was looking at potentially this 1 minute bearish unicorn setup. Um, I'm not sure if he's still in love with the idea right now, but before, when we were trading, I believe we were trading down here, and he said that we hadn't reached up to that point yet, but ES did. Yeah, before I look for a unicorn setup, I want to see the 5 minute show the setup, and I want it to be based on a market structure shift. So if we don't get that, then I'll just let today pass me by, and then we'll catch it tomorrow. Can't imagine it going 2 days in a row without having that type of setup. True. Yeah, it just depends. It depends on where the stop loss would have been. But this breaker is pretty small. 565, 570. Yeah, it's not that big to where you couldn't have put your stop loss above this protected high. It'd been about a 15 point above the breaker. I'm not sure how many people would have done that. But yeah, you're right, Ray. It still is a viable trade here. It never invalidated itself, at least not here on the 1 minute. I mean, on the 5. If we go back to the 1 where it was taken from, we did get a closure above, but again, it depends on stop loss placement. Let's look at maybe on the 3 minute. Okay, we did get a close above. I'll work on this video camera later. See if I can't get it working again. Yeah, but honestly, Ray, really, it didn't really invalidate the breaker here, because you would have needed to account for this retracement leg and it going up a little higher. You would have needed to account for that. So I will, this is just part of the breaker setup. So you're right, it's still valid, and looks like it might even produce what you were looking for. 565, 570. Yep. Yeah, it's already delivered 25 points from consequent encroachment, if that's where your entry would have been. Yep. Yeah, Queen. We've been stuck with A plus setups today. Hasn't, at least for me, from what I've been looking at, the unicorn setup hasn't delivered any. It's right here. It's on the 1 minute, Queen. I'm sorry, you may not have been part of the conversation when he was explaining it to me. It's here on the 1 minute from 219 and 220 candle. It's a bearish breaker. Oh, Wale. Okay. Yep, I've been looking for him on the 5 minute. So that's what I've been hoping to find, is one on the 5 minute. Yep, the sweep of the 130 high. Mm-hmm. Back to 5 minute. Two minutes. Let me check the 2 minutes, see what's there. All right, let's see if let's see if ES also is ranging the same way. Yeah, it is. All right, and the Dow. Okay, the Dow looks a little better. Yeah, the Dow looks slightly bullish. Mm. We had a small back testing session. It was just like, I'm sorry, like a daily review. Oh, you traded London too. Okay. What time did you do your market review session or market recap? Or how much? Using one mini? Oh, okay. Right after the session. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. We have right these big long wicks here to the upside. Candle body's pretty much in the same area, and then now we have wicks to the downside. So it's yeah, price is playing around today. It's already had a pretty strong range for the weekly candle, so I'm not sure how much further it wants to push lower. But we did reach consequent encroachment of the daily busy. I think we did. We sure did. At 15,527. Let me just quickly jump in there. A minute. Hmm. That's weird. I'm getting different levels here. Anyway, I'll check it later. Yeah. Um, 100,000 static showing I only have a max drawdown of $650. Anyone know about this? Marlene, I do not. About a static account. So I'm sure you may already know this, but 10 micros equals 1 mini. So I just noticed that the continuous contract is slightly different than the quarterly contract on the values there. I thought the continuous contract was updated each quarter with the new quarterly contract, but it's slightly different. So I'm looking at my continuous contract and it says that we already hit consequent encroachment of the daily busy. And when I went to the daily and drug it across, the daily busy on the quarterly was a little lower. It wasn't at 523. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen this protected high traded above and closed above, and then we could have looked to see if there was some action trying to fill in some of this space here. But so far, we haven't seen any of that. Yes, 350 to 410. That's correct. You have to be closed, Marlene. You have to be closed by 4:10, 10 minutes after. All right, J Stores. We'll catch you on the next one. Yeah, we hit it back the last of January. We hit the BISI consequent encroachment, but the BISI itself is still active. So I saw consequent encroachment coming around again, and on my chart I show it at 17 like 531, and when I pulled it up on the quarterly, it's much lower than 531. It's down in this area, so it's probably off by 20 to 30 points. And so on my daily and my weekly charts, I have those on a continuous contract because I just don't want to be moving those levels too often. I like to leave those levels there because for the most part, they do remain active for a long time. But it's all good. I'll just make a mental note there. Made a final one, and then it's going to fail. Shift down to the 1 minute here. Oh man. All right, macro starts in 2 minutes. Maybe that's, see if this area gets broken at that time. Yeah, I don't know. I know people that are passing the Apex accounts, so they're really good at scalping or they're choosing the right trades that just get up and run. But I would imagine after the evaluation is over, that's not an issue, right? Like you don't have to worry about it. Real time it is. Let's see what we got here. Jeez. Oh, really, Robin? Until you reach a certain point. Okay. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, so in that case, Apex, I guess, would be something you would do if you were trading DTFX or something. That would make a so in that yeah, so that makes sense. Then if you want to go with different companies, you can have different trading strategies for different combines or different prop firms. Hmm. Let's let's just get rid of this. Okay, so is that what happened? We had a little drives pattern here, and now it seems like it wants to run that. Oops. Nope. Yeah, DTFX. It's a scalping strategy. Dave trades. All right, Robin. We'll catch you later. Yeah, it's we're getting close to the end. There's not a lot happening here. Looks like it's going to run for maybe the protected low here, but it's still in the range. It's just going to the bottom of the range, from the top to the bottom during the macro here. Mm. Oh, Dave Trades. Well, he has a boot camp or something similar to that, like an 8 or 10 video of series introducing to his strategy. It's really long though, so just prepare yourself. Like each video is a couple hours long. Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, so Robin, if you go to Dave Trades on YouTube, you should be able to find his tutorial videos. And I do remember he redid some of his earlier videos. So it looks like now the new series is only 3 videos. So it should be a little easier to digest. But also his students is Stoic Trader and what's the other guy? Strange ICT, I think, is a student of his as well, I think. Oh, by 1 point. Oh, I see. Okay, so you would have stop loss above the protected high. Okay. Well, yeah, in that case, it delivered 544. Let's see. Let's go back and see if we can't get that up back up there. What was that? Down to 507 and up to 562 in a matter of seconds. Protected low hit, not traded, not closed below, but it has been hit. Well, I get this question every day. People always ask, "What's the macro for? What do we expect to happen?" Well, this kind of thing happens where price runs to the target or to liquidity, one of the two, and they could be one and the same. Yep. Yeah, I hope so for sure. Definitely, I hope they saw that it's not it is a breaker. It was a unicorn, but not an A plus setup. You turtle soup that low, Queen. Well, I was just about to say that the target should have been this swing low. It should have been where people were looking. Anything beyond that was you're asking for a lot. But there is a fair value gap down here that it could have bounced off of. So it was only a handful of points away from that. And now it might run for this protected high, which is good. So then it'll spend the rest of the 4 o'clock hour or right after it opens at 1800, trickling its way up into this city that we've been talking about all morning, all afternoon. Let's see. Tomorrow morning, we do have, nope, nothing. Tomorrow morning is clean. Nothing in the morning or in the afternoon. So that's going to be a different type of Friday to have no news there. Usually there's something to talk about. So yeah, no news tomorrow. So we'll see if we get some good price action, and hopefully we won't get just consolidation, but we'll find that out tomorrow morning. This candle right here to close off 405 5-minute candle, exact place that it started at 4 o'clock. So that's a hell of a 5-minute candle to look at. Look at this doji right here. All right, Molly, take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, it's been one of those days, Richard, for sure. Definitely didn't find my setup today. Had a couple scalps this morning, but nothing real. I try to be, Marlene. I fail sometimes, but I try to be. Yep. I think we're getting close to the end here where there's not a lot happening or going to happen. So I think it's a safe spot for us to wind down and say our goodbyes this afternoon. Hope everyone enjoyed the stream. Sorry about the technical difficulties we had. Yeah, tomorrow morning, let's see if we get something better. We have a nice entry to close out our week on a good note. And I should have my camera up and running again, so you won't have to worry about if I'm here or not. But yeah, definitely. Everyone have a good evening. Hit the like button on your way out. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do that as well. Make sure the notifications are turned on and you get all the invitations and reminders going forward. Have a good evening, everyone. Take care.